Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
A high school, a toy store, Candyland, and New York City. None of these are places you would expect to be the setting of an awesome D&D campaign. So how does this show take geeks who hate actual plays and turn them into binge watchers? That's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Casters Guild. I'm your guild master, Rick Perry, and these are our intrepid heroes. Say hello, intrepid heroes.
Hello, intrepid heroes.
And I am your podcast partner, Baron.
And joining us is a returning guild member. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Ray Silvertongue. I am a drag performer out of Oklahoma, and I am also an occasional guild member.
Look, I knew I was going to hit you guys with the intrepid hero thing, but the moment you hit me with the podcast partner Baron thing, like that,
it was so good.
You were waiting to drop that one.
Oh yeah. I workshopped it all day.
See, I was mad on two fronts, because one, I should have expected that absolutely unequivocally, and also two, I was then angry because I was like, there would have absolutely been time today where I could have thought of something Dimension 20 related to pair with my name, and I didn't.
Alright, I gotta start by being honest here. I only know about the Baron thing because of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
The only Dimension 20 I've seen is the first season of Unsleeping City, and even then, I have like 10 minutes left of the last episode, which I'm probably going to watch right after we're done recording this.
Nice. This is a weird one to start out with, but, I mean, not a bad one to start out with.
Well, right before we were going to record this episode, I was talking to guild member Grizz about how we were going to be doing Dimension 20. And so he totally didn't give me his login. I went and legitimately purchased my own login. And then I just kind of scrolled through, and I just picked the one that sounded the most interesting to me and kind of binged it this past week.
It's the only one besides Shriek Week that I haven't watched all of, to be very honest. I've watched all of the others, and I'm all caught up on the current season except for the episode that just dropped yesterday? Yes, yesterday. Otherwise, I think I watched 6 episodes of first season.
So what would you say has been your favorite so far?
That's tough.
That is tough. I think it's very dependent on mood, honestly.
That's fair,
like,
actually, yeah.
They're absolutely different genres, and like even like Fantasy High Season 1, I have to be in a completely different mood than Fantasy High Season 2.
Yeah.
Because Fantasy High Season 1 really is like a coming-of-age teen drama thing, but Fantasy High Season 2 is a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
But at any point, I could be into both of those things.
Oh.
I would say probably the one that I've watched the most. I don't even know if I can answer that one, actually.
You know what? I'm going to have to say, and just as an all-encompassing statement, it has to be. Oh fuck! I can't. I know it. I'm immediately taking it back. Crown of Candy. I'm going with Crown of Candy.
Okay.
Because I like the. Okay, so there's a miniatures game. It came out years ago, and it's called Fairy Meat. It is fairy, like a fairy, but meat, M-E-A-T.
Right.
You're playing, in it, like I said, it's a miniatures game, but you're playing fairies that are also cannibals. And when they eat other fairies, they get their magic and stuff. But they're also 1-for-1. So it's not even a miniatures game. It's just a figure game. And the figures are life-size, but they're tiny because they're fairies. The board can be anywhere. You could play it all over your house. But that's what it kind of... Like the Crown of Candy what's the other one? The Tiny Heist. Those two things remind me of that so much. And I don't know what it is. It could be nostalgia. It could just be because that's kind of how I played when I was a kid. I just had things, and I would make my room the set that I would play in. You know, I'd played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and, you know, I would have different spots in my room that would be the sewer, and then, you know, my dresser would be the city, you know, stuff like that. So it gave me the same vibe, and I really love it, especially getting into Tiny Heist. I think I can't even really count Tiny Heist because I haven't watched it all the way, but I love it. It's great. So, but I'm going to go with Crown of Candy. That's a
really good one.
Also, Crown of Candy, there's so much lore there that they didn't crack open, and it kills me. It kills me that they didn't crack open that lore.
I think my favorite thing is the fact that they've, like, when people have asked based on what I've seen online, they've all said that they are not going to revisit I don't even remember what the world was called for Crown of Candy right now. And then to, like, put the bow on that particular box, they were like, yep, and we're also selling all of these.
Yeah. Sad. I would love to see that in a sports book or something, but
yeah,
like, we have
that would
to
be really cool.
Lore and shit, and then never sell it because we'll get sued to fucking back by, you know, College Humor / Dropout, whatever they're calling themselves. And I just went on a tirade too, Ray. You never even answered the question.
No, I'm still thinking on the question, actually, because I'm essentially doing this thing in my brain where I'm, like, picking up and, like, turning the thing over and, like, looking at it and being like, this one's so good. It's not my favorite. But at this point, I've gone around and done that to all of them. So I'm like, is it like, okay, this is the thing that made me, like, cry the most frequently? Because that would definitely be Crown of Candy. Crown of Candy, really after, like, episode 5, I think, I didn't listen to that one at work anymore. I could not. I'm gonna Fantasy High Season 2, probably, honestly. I would say Fae of Flowers, because I am voracious for this one. But it's not done yet, and I'm really scared that I'm gonna be, like, upset in some way by the ending, even though I know that I won't be. It's just that Regency pining, like, oh my god, what if this doesn't turn out thing?
I'm kind of flipping through Dropout just to get a kind of, like, a feel for, like, Season 2, because, like, I've seen Season 2, but it's, like, it's been a while, so I'm like, I need to be reminded what happened in Season 2, and then I see this picture of Brennan with a huge fucking lumberjack beard. I'm like, when the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, that was Dimension 20 Live. That was the live season.
They did it live?
Yeah, it was streamed on Twitch.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because, like, the first couple of episodes in it, it's really funny because you can see, like, some of the people trying to, like, censor themselves, and Emily consistently forgetting to censor herself.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was the one where Baron was introduced. That was the one where they went to Leviathan for the first time. We met Ida.
Oh, and the pirate ship in hell.
Yes. Yeah, Calvaxis.
So I guess I have to say mine's Unsleeping City, because it's, like, the only one I've seen. But, that being said, I mean, I haven't seen the others, so I have nothing to compare it against. But I will say, I'm not just choosing it by default. I really enjoyed Unsleeping City, at least what I've seen of it so far. Obviously, I've got a whole nother season and 10 minutes left of this one. But it definitely was not what I was expecting. I'm not a fan of actual plays. Like, I've looked at Critical Role. I watched, like, the first 10 episodes of Season 2, and I've watched the animated series. But looking at 4-hour-long episodes, and they have, like, 200-plus episodes, I'm just like, I don't have time for that. But looking at Dimension 20, hour and a half long episodes, and, like, 19 episodes in a season, that's doable. Like, that's just like something that I would watch on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever. So, like, I can do that. So watching Unsleeping City, not only was it not what I expected as far as actual plays and what I've seen of them so far, but the whole, like, this is not your standard D&D setting. This is not your standard D&D party. I like this a lot because if it's standard D&D, like that I'm going to be playing with my friends at the end of the week anyway, I'm not even interested. I'm like, I'd rather be playing. But the fact that they set this somewhere I would not set one of my games and played it in a way I would not play my games, I find it much easier to consume this content.
I was just kind of mentally preparing for the podcast today because, you know, that's what I do for this podcast. I mentally prepare. I don't prepare in any other way except for getting my mind right to go into this podcast. Anyways, but I was thinking about it, and, you know, we talked about Critical Role earlier in the year, and I love it. I love Critical Role. I do. But I really thinking today, if I was to choose, if I was forced to choose between the two, I would really have to go with Dimension 20. I would have to. There's way more variety. You know, not that Critical Role isn't working on that. They're starting to pump out different shows. Good for them. But I don't know. There's something with the emotion there. It feels
it's
more.
catnipy.
Yeah, that works. But yeah, it's like I love it. I love engaging with it. It's also, as you were just saying, easier to consume. It's you know, that hour and a half long. That's movie length. That's not, I have to watch Lord of the Rings extended edition every time I want to catch up on the next episode. You know, which, you know, I'm facing that challenge right now. I just got this. I keep saying I just got this new job, and I'm coming up on my first year. That counts, right? I'm still new.
Still new.
Still new.
Still fresh faced.
Right. And it's like a whole new level of work that I'm not used to. So like I can't catch up on a lot of this Critical Role stuff. I'm having the hardest time getting through season 3 just because I just don't have the time. Now, you know, Court of Fey and Flowers. Bam! I knocked that out, you know, most of it on a lunch.
Yep.
So, which has been great, by the way. Court of Fave and Flowers. I didn't know what to expect with that one, and that's just been great.
I'm having so much fun with it. I'm so, like, okay, and we probably should have discussed this actually before we started recording, to be honest.
Nah.
How careful do I need to be about spoilers, Rick? Like,
no, go for it.
Oh. Yeah,
Okay.
we have a podcast rule. You know, we'll say, hey, watch out, spoilers. But generally for us, if we're going to talk about it, fuck it, just spoilers.
Yeah, go for it.
I just wanted to check beforehand. Yeah, so when they said it was, because I follow Abria Iyengar on Twitter, and she's been posting about it, coming up to it a bit. So I was aware that it was like Regency and like heavy on the fashion and the court intrigue, and that's my shit. That's so my shit. I would love to pretend that it's not, but it is. And I have screamed at least twice every episode, full screeched. Also, understand, I've been trying to like low-key get my mom to watch Dimension 20 with me for a while, because I enjoy it quite a lot. Because the first one that I watched was Misfits and Magic. And that one's only 4 episodes, which I thought would be fine and bite-sized enough for me to gift to my mother and her watch it without it being a trouble. But she wasn't as into it as I was expecting, I think because she is very aware of the Harry Potter thing, so anything that feels like that, she has an like knee-jerk aversion to.
Sure.
Which is fair, and I think that if Misfits and Magic hadn't been presented in exactly and precisely the way that it had, I would have felt similarly, but it was fine.
Yeah.
And actually, I have 2 pieces of Dimension 20 merch, and one of them is Misfits and Magic, and it's the Gal Penny shirt, the Goat House shirt.
I want to get a Goat House shirt, too.
It's so soft. It's like one of my softest t-shirts.
Nice.
Which I know this is a tangent, but that is a woman who cannot stop digging her own grave. J.K. Rowling just like keeps.
Oh my god.
Just
I thought you were
keeps.
talking about the Priya Iyengar. I'm like,
No.
I
I
know
also
she's busy,
thought
but
that.
still,
No. No, J.K. Rowling just like
doing a lot, but I think she's all right.
no, she's good, but like J.K. Rowling just like cannot stop digging deeper. Like the new books that she's writing. Have you seen stuff?
Oh yeah.
I watched Bitter Corella live tweet about it at the
Mhm.
very beginning when like it first dropped, and it was I didn't stick around for very long, and I love it when people do shit like that on Twitter, but I couldn't do it.
Like she's already 6 feet under and just like keeps like digging
She
deeper
wants
and
to hit-
deeper. And
She wants to hit bedrock, man. She is bound and determined. She wants to bend that shovel.
Yep.
she's 100% determined to make sure that I cannot enjoy that series anymore. Like,
Yeah, in any way, shape, or form.
which is really unfortunate, but that's first world problems right there. The fact that I can't enjoy my Fun Wizard series anymore.
You know, but also like I know people, and I'm like close with people who do still really like Harry Potter, and they give me weird vibes. I have weird vibes about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to like it. I really do want to like it, but like every time,
It's such
like,
a rich potential for a world,
Yeah.
and yet
and now every time like I try to consume anything Harry Potter, like my brain just goes, this was created by a horrible woman who said all of the following things, and like lists them off in my head, and I'm just like, I can't enjoy this anymore. Like the whole separate the art from the artist thing, like I just can't do it anymore. Like it's
I
just
can't do that while people are still alive.
yeah, it sucks. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe after she dies, I'll be able to go back and read it and be like, hey, this is fun again. Who knows?
I want to make a joke here, but I feel like I should not.
If it's
I
too
can't-
bad, I can always edit it out later.
look,
It's true. I'm just like, I mean, it's a free hint for anyone listening. Just laying down hints.
so just saying, I can't wait to find out.
I'm so excited to learn whether I will once again be able to enjoy regular people media once that woman has stopped breathing.
Where were you when you found out you could enjoy Harry Potter again?
I will say this. I think that the thing that I would have the most potential of still enjoying is the movies.
Sure.
And I'll tell you why. Because at least the actors that are involved in that have been very vocal about her needing to get her shit together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and you know what? I'm not going to pay to watch it anyways. So she's not getting my money.
Right.
I am enjoying
It's
these
very true.
actors.
Yep.
I can enjoy these actors. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I still
almost
haven't
all the
watched
people,
the newest one.
all the people
What?
involved with the movies are very delightful people.
Mm-hmm. They really are. Yeah, I haven't seen the. What is the third one? The one with Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald.
It's
I haven't watched that
the
one yet.
Fantastic
Didn't
Beasts
try-
series.
Trials of Grindelwald. Is that the third one?
Oh,
I don't know.
it's something of Grindelwald.
It's
I
not.
think.
It's not
maybe.
bad. It's pretty good actually. I'm still.
I just want Mads Mikkelsen in my life.
Who doesn't? It does feel. I mean, I'm not like a big Johnny Depp stan or anything like that. But for the fact that why they kicked him out, and then it's like, you feel stupid now a little bit.
Yeah.
I
again,
have
it's
a lot of thoughts and
I
a
do
lot
too.
of feelings
I do too.
about the fact that WB kicked him out immediately, but apparently was still shooting stuff with an active fugitive Ezra Miller. Like,
Woo.
I think we talked about him in the DC show, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Or
Yeah.
them.
We
Yeah.
did.
What a fucking mess. What a fucking mess.
I
And
honestly, at first I thought it was a joke. Like, there wasn't a way that it was possible, right?
We all
What's
did.
going on?
We all did.
And then they had the perfect opportunity to edit King Shark into Aquaman 2, and they still haven't done that. Just edit him in over Amber Heard's parts.
Yes.
Just saying.
Isn't Amber Heard Mira?
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
I do think that they edited her out of the second one, though. I do think that
Did they?
I think so. So that's.
I don't know. I'll never find out.
Who knows?
Anyways, DC's a mess. We have a whole episode. Go listen to it.
I kind of assumed that this all was going to be cut out.
Oh no, this is Caster's Guild. We leave all that shit in.
But yeah, no. I did actually. Man, I can go off on like 80 tangents just from the base of any Dimension 20, essentially, ever. But back to the original thing, which I think was us talking about the Regency nest that is Court of Fae and Flowers. I am successfully getting my mom to watch it. She's dying. I'm also sending her all of the fan art that I can find of it. And there's nothing better than an owlbear in a dress. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Every D&D campaign needs an owlbear in a dress at some point in time.
You know what? Every D&D game needs a druid that can wild shape into an owlbear into a dress.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, stop getting so mad about the druid that can wild shape into an owlbear.
I'm not fucking like wild shape into an owlbear. Shit. Why not?
And it's so dumb.
House rules exist for a reason.
Like, I don't.
A motherfucker.
Why are people mad about it?
I'll let a motherfucker wild shape into a displacer beast. They won't have the displacer power, but they can be a displacer beast. I don't fucking care.
People are mad about it for the same reason that people are rules lawyers. Like, it's...
They want control.
But, like...
They want that control.
It's not raw. It's not rules as written. Like a druid, rules as written cannot wild shape into an owlbear because it is not a beast. It is a monstrosity. So,
but, like, you can reskin fucking anything.
Yeah.
And wasn't there, like, a specific, like, meta magic feat in, like, 2nd edition or some shit that was just so that you could reskin your spells to look like a theme?
I think that there's also a subclass of druid that lets you wild shape into monstrosities and shit like that, but I don't know. But yeah, reskinning...
mad.
Yeah. It's like... As far as I'm concerned, like, reskinning would be the absolute easiest thing. Oh, you want to wild shape into an owlbear? Cool, we'll use bear stats.
Mm-hmm.
Literally that. Like...
At the end of the day, rule of cool is what matters anyway.
Yes.
That's true.
Yep.
Also, if you can convince me that it's a good idea, it can probably happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
The people that I'm DMing for haven't all figured that out yet. One of them has, and everyone else is really mad that he's getting away with a bunch of stuff, but they haven't tried.
I think a lot of people, too, go into it with a sense of PvP. They think that the shit that someone else can do, that's just them better than them. It's like, no, they are helping you. You guys are on the same team.
Yeah.
You do the thing now. They're doing the thing, now you do the thing.
I know we're talking about Dimension 20, but that's totally a Acquisitions Incorporated thing when it comes to, like, Patrick Rothfuss's character. Like, he gets away with literally everything just because he asks and the DM thinks it's cool. And so they keep making fun of him. Like, of course Patrick got away with it. He gets anything he wants. But, like, they're also very gently ribbing. Like, they're happy he's getting away with the things because it is helping them as a team. It's like, of course he got away with it. Now let him do more.
Yeah. How dare you? Never stop.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, actually, like, I think the first, like, really great reskinning that I saw, like, ever, I think, really, was when, during the 7, when Erica used the geese with the stats of raptors. That was fucking ridiculous. And did way too much damage, and Brennan was very sad, and that was my favorite.
Yeah, I will say the Court of Fae and Flowers, I believe that is entirely rule of cool. It's like whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
I've never. It's like they all seem to be just pulling shit out of their ass, and she's like, "Do it, all right, yeah."
I love that. There's always well, that's not really how that's intended, but fucking go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I also like their
Um,
use of like their reputation thing that they have going on. I love using reputation in games. I love it. This is like
It's so
obviously
fun.
a very it is. It's great. I think that there should be more use of rep because it's like so what are you gonna do? We're just going to go into every town and we're gonna use charisma. It's like you're telling me you're 15th level and this town hasn't heard about your shit yet? You're telling me that. That's what you're telling me. No. And then also to be able to use that reputation to walk into town and be like, you're at the tavern and you're trying to seduce the barmaid and it's like you think that your +2 is the only thing you get from your charisma? No. No. You have a reputation that gets to add. It's so much use for a reputation.
Yeah. I do kind of wish, and I mean, of course, there's enough episodes left that we could get this at some point. But I do wish that we had gotten to see a little bit more of what would have happened to the negative. Because in Fae of Flowers, I think we got like 2 people that dipped towards the negative and then popped right back up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what happens though? What happens if you're bad at stuff?
Oh, someone did. So they found out one of the characters dipped below the negative. So during the course of that, when they were in the negative, they got a bonus to stealth.
Oh, yeah, right. Because, it was... What's her face? Binks. Yeah.
Or
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn, yeah. But yeah, it's because it was like their reputation was so low, they didn't want people to see them, and they wanted to fly under the radar. So, yeah. So I was like, that makes perfect sense.
It's because she didn't even dip down very far. I think she was just like 1 below, right?
Yeah, she just.
I want to know the mechanic. If they hit rock bottom, because when they get up to the top, they get a cool little title. Do they get a bad title if they hit bottom? Are they like the deplorable suddenly?
I would imagine the way Abria is running it, there isn't a bad thing that happens. They're going to constantly just get good stuff. Now, obviously, you have a good reputation. That's the good thing. You have a bad reputation. That's the bad. People aren't going to listen to you. I would imagine that there are certain... If I was running the game, Abria, I'm sure, has this all handled. I'm sure she knows exactly what she's doing. But since we don't know...
I mean, I'm also 98% sure that this was, all recorded last October.
Oh, absolutely. It's all pre-COVID.
Because Oscar has been wearing cute Halloween sweaters and shit the entire season so far.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I would say that, let's just say you keep dipping below in the negative, your ability to influence people of good standing gets lessened. You don't get those. But I'm betting, you probably have bonuses to maybe deal with the goblins. You have bonuses to, intimidate people. You know what I mean?
That would be fun. Yeah. It'll also, based on how she's been playing it, probably be the effect will be dependent on what you did to get there.
Right. Yes, that's true, because that's very true, because even the good stuff mattered. Oh, now it kind of makes me wonder, if you do start dipping below, what tokens would she give out?
Yeah. Well, because geez, that opens up a whole other thing, really. That's so cool.
Rick, that's a thing that I think you would enjoy quite a bit as a DM. Abria in this game, so they have this little box, and on the front of the box they have little ticks. The higher the tick, the more reputation you have, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But she would also hand out little tokens. So if they did something
as you completed things,
yes, as they did something really, really cool, they would hand out a thing that was relevant to what was going on, and then later on, say you wanted to do something, she'd be like, well, you can burn a token if you want. But it mattered what token they burned. And then, if they wanted to do something, they could be like, well, I want to get there a little faster. So can I burn this, horse token just a bad example because they didn't do that, but
Sure.
but that would be like one of the things. But then they also had to explain why they were burning that token, because this token was from this, and it's so good. It's so good.
It's so cool.
Yeah, you know me pretty well as a DM, because that's totally my thing. Like,
Absolutely.
So like,
I give out stuff to my players all the time. I love handouts. I love little trinkets. Yeah, I've talked about the boxes that I've made for my players on this podcast before. Yeah, that's totally my thing.
yeah, that's one of my favorite things, is like giving out stuff to my players, because it feels like, especially with the people that I've been playing with that have been kind enough to let me stumble my way through DMing, that it helps them with like immersion, especially because like, oh, they've got that thing and it's in their hand.
One of the coolest things I ever had was privy to when I was playing Living City. When we would play these games, at the end of the game, if we found magic items or if we found like tokens of reputation, anything like that, we would get them in little certificate form.
That's cool.
So we would start keeping these binders just filled with these. I still have all of my magic items from Living
That's
City.
cool.
And if that tells you anything, Living City was like back in 2002. So
20 years ago.
I have a 20-year-old binder of 20-year-old certificates of all the cool stuff that these characters happen to collect. So yeah.
That's so fun. And that's a thing that Abria did in Misfits and Magic too, because like they got their wands and stuff.
Oh, now I just want to play a game with Abria Iyengar running it so that I can get...
Okay.
You can do that.
I wish that Abria Iyengar would like do an online class or something about how she does her flowcharts for her characters, because there are like 3 people in the Dimension 20 cast that have talked about the fact that after she taught them how to do flowcharts, it like revolutionized the way that they play, and I need that in my life.
Someone should get on Twitter. Anybody listening to this podcast, get on Twitter and tag her in it, and
just don't make us do it.
Do that.
Yeah, just don't tag us too.
Yeah, don't. We're going to be doing our own posts, so we can't. Can't have
it's
all
okay. It's all right. We follow her, so we will see it when she inevitably responds.
Or better yet, Abria, come on the show. We could talk about your flowcharts.
We'd love to have you.
We'd love to have you.
I'm 80% sure that she's done D&D in a castle before. And still continues to do it. So like if you really wanted to play in a game that she runs, you could spend thousands of dollars on a vacation to go play D&D in a castle.
I am very small and I have no money, so you can understand the stress I'm under.
Alright, so go check out our Patreon. If enough people subscribe, we'll do an episode from D&D in a castle.
Look, you know what? How about this? You guys go on our Patreon and send us, subscribe, send us donations, everything. We'll send Ray. We'll send Ray to go and play D&D with Abria Iyengar and steal the plans to her flowchart. That's our plan the whole time. Oh, fuck, I just gotta put it out there, didn't I?
Carrying some real Dr. Horrible sing-along blog energy.
That's all I've ever wanted out of this podcast.
We're just 3.
You just need to do a musical episode, right? That's what you're missing.
Oh God, that's
Ray, why would you say that?
Season 4 musical episode.
I'm just saying, if you want to have some drag queens on here at any point, I got you.
I mean, we've had 3, I believe, but
if
but
you
never
want musical episode,
Season 4, Casters Guild the musical.
If we get enough people on our Patreon demanding it, we'll do it.
Have somebody belt out, and that's a guild decree.
Oh man,
that's so good.
Look, I'm saying we need people on our Patreon, because if we're going to do a musical episode, we can't do it like this.
No,
we actually have to film it out and everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
fly people out so that we can have them star in there.
If we did do, I know our listeners can't see the screen that we're looking at right now, but if we did do a musical episode, this is 100% how it would start. It'd be this screen right here that our listeners can't see.
Yeah.
We're going to need at
Gotta love that.
least $30,000 to faithfully recreate the scenes behind us, so that when we zoom out and we're all in the same room, it'll make sense.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Love that. It's the best. Certainly can't just green screen it. That's impossible.
Mm-mm.
No, we are. Look, if
What do you think we are, hacks?
if the grognards on the internet talking about Lord of the Rings has taught me anything,
Oh,
is that
God.
CGI is wrong and practical effects are everything. That's why Howard the Duck is better than anything Marvel has put out now, because of practical duck boobies.
Practical duck movies.
Mallard memories.
Mallard memories.
I would like to leave.
Okay, so Dimension 20.
Seriously. Yeah, Dimension 20.
Oh God.
I started watching Dimension 20 because of TikTok, honestly.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
Because I was seeing the shorts on TikTok, and then I was like, I need this in my life, what the fuck? And then I found it on YouTube, and of course I was watching all of the really wonderful people that do all of the out of context things for Dimension 20. Those people are my favorite people.
Yeah, they're heroes.
And I watched all of those, and actually, so I watched all of those and realized that I had such a deep interest in A Crown of Candy, and they've got the first episode of Crown of Candy up on their YouTube, but they're mean, and they know how drug dealing works. So, they give you the first episode for free.
Now, you know what? I will say this. This is going to be kind of a cross-promotion thing, but it's also inter-promoted. If you wanted to watch any of the Dimension 20 stuff, it's all on Dropout TV, and it is shockingly cheap.
It's so cheap. It's so worth it.
Yeah. Because on top of all the Dimension 20 stuff, you also have all of the Dropout stuff, too, which is, again, it's just college humor. So you have
And
all
it's
college
got
humor
all
stuff.
of their previous stuff.
Game Changer. Actually,
Those game shows are, again,
They're my favorite.
shockingly good.
look, we're not sponsored. It'd be great if we were, but we're not sponsored. But
Dropout, come on the show. Come on the show, Dropout.
there is a streaming service that you're paying for that you're not using. I know there is. If you're listening to this, there's so many streaming services out there. There's one that you're paying for now that you have not even logged into for over a month. Cancel it. Go subscribe to Dropout.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And the first thing you do when you go to Dropout is you look up the news specials that they do, and look up
God, the breaking news.
look up true facts about Grant O'Brien. That's it.
Do
Just-
not do
just
that.
watch that
No.
one. Just watch that one.
That
and
one's
you're
on
gonna be
YouTube
hooked.
as well.
You're going to be hooked.
The first part
Go
is
and
on
watch
YouTube
that.
as well. But also do not do that, because it took me twice as long as that episode is. I kept having to pause it.
Hello, my name is 50?
He's from Ohio. It's great. You learn a lot of good stuff about this guy. And then watch the second one. It's even better. No, the first one's
It's
better.
so bad. There's actually it's nice because Dropout also gives you these really great curated playlists that are things like Sam, who's the main producer and the creator and host
right.
of Game Changers,
Mhm.
favorite. But
Oh,
there's also a list that is just Grant shaming.
I'm looking at it right now. The best of Grant shaming.
Yeah. Why do they do this often enough that they've got a whole playlist?
Oh man.
When you live a certain type of life, it gets real easy.
He was learning how to be a better bottom.
To be a better bond.
I'm so glad we're marked as explicit.
Have you seen it, Rick?
Which one?
The true facts about Grant O'Brien?
I've seen the parts that everybody talks about. Like, I've seen the snippets. Like,
you just need to watch the whole thing.
I'm going to eventually. I mean, like, now that I have Dropout, like,
I've never seen
it. So funny, but also so bad.
I mean, like, I'm going to give it to him. He really stuck with it. I mean, he didn't just get up and walk away. But good lord,
that man.
Yeah, the thing about any Grant Channing,
he does.
He leans into it so hard,
long and green.
It's just a lot. But you also, because Grant's been in other stuff that's on Dropout. This is very quickly trying to become just a Dropout fan.
I think we knew that. I think we knew that's what was going on.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I don't mind them, but I loved. If you haven't already listened or watched the erotic book club stuff, it's wonderful. It's so funny. But Grant was on a couple of episodes of it, and he was so like genuinely charming, and I was like, this is. Cause, I'm gonna be honest, I normally find Grant pretty annoying.
I think that's almost the point.
Yeah,
it is. But every so often, I like see him in a thing, and I'm like, oh my god, you're good. You're a good job.
He's legit funny. Oh, also, I don't know if this dropped today, but the new show Play It By Ear came out.
It dropped on the 13th.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I am
it's
behind.
So good.
I'm behind.
Have you watched any of Off Book, Jess and Zach's show on their own?
Jess and Zach? What?
Sorry, no, sorry. There are lots of Jesses and Zachs in Dropout Land. The people who did the musical episode of Game Changer. That Jess and Zach.
No.
Okay. Play It By Ear is their thing that's a spin-off of the musical episode of Game Changer.
Is it on Dropout?
Yeah. Well, the musical episode of Game Changer is their podcast is not. Their podcast is called Off Book, and it's the improvised musical. And every episode is, and it's what the basis for the musical episode was, and what Play It By Ear is based on.
Gotcha.
But the first episode of Play It By Ear has so many like weird references to previous Off Book episodes that it's a lot of fun if you've got that in your repertoire, but it's still funny even if you don't.
Gotcha.
But also, I do recommend Off Book. It's a lot of fun.
How many spin-offs is Game Changer gonna get?
As many as they want. Please don't stop, actually.
I just want a new season of Game Changer. Can I get a new season of Game Changer? That'd be great.
They're shooting right now.
Okay.
Or maybe they're editing right now. They had a tweet about it like a month or two ago.
Look, and I'm going to say this too. Like, I love the cast of Dropout. I love all of them. But can we just get Brennan in more stuff too? I am not like sexually attracted to this man whatsoever, but I need to I don't know, marry him and his wife and be with them at all times. Did they get
married finally?
I think I heard that they did. I could be just way off base, but I thought they went and got married.
That's fine.
You know what? You know what? I take that back. I bet they didn't, because that's something I think that they would like fucking televise.
Talk about at the very least.
Just something. Or, you know, Game Changer would crash.
Yeah.
You know, they would crash it 100%.
I think, okay, so the 7 had Izzy in it.
They're
engaged. Not married.
They're engaged.
Cool. Okay. That's fine. They'll get there. But,
get there.
I assume that's the intention, right?
Yeah. No, it was just funny the way you said it. They'll get there.
Brennan, if you are listening, I am ordained. Just saying.
Brennan is in the Upright Citizens Brigade?
That makes sense to me.
That's still surprising, but not.
I feel like every comedian I've ever enjoyed either was or is part of the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yeah.
At some point in time.
But in the 7, when, like, it wasn't even very far into the season, honestly. It was by, like, episode 6, I want to say, Izzy stopped being willing to do mental math and would just call out what her numbers were, and Brennan would add them for her and tell her what she got. And that was so funny and adorable.
Yes. She is just great, too.
She's so good.
I feel like she is a good counterpoint to him. Not that, I'm an expert at judging other people's relationships, but just their personality types seem to be, like, even if they work together, just them being friends, it's like, you guys could probably put in an order at a restaurant. You guys know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean.
I do.
No, it was fine. My knee jerk was to take it very literally, and it was just the concept for a moment that we lived in a world in which that was the bar.
Right, yeah. Look, I'm just saying, if someone forgets that man's ketchup, he's going to get that ketchup.
It's true.
He's not going to ask for it, but he's getting it. He's getting that ketchup.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, they're cute though. They're very cute together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Brendan did have an entire sketch about how he hasn't looked at a menu for like 15 years.
He lives the weirdest fucking life. Really. Every time I hear anything about him, it's the weirdest thing.
What there's a food show on Dropout?
Yeah, I think there are a couple, because there's Gods of Food, and I want to say there's another too.
Fucking Dropout, you are killing me, man.
Okay, literally I finally decided to pay for Dropout. Mm-hmm. And it was the best decision that I've made, maybe ever, honestly. Every other decision, trash. This decision, immaculate. But
magnificent!
This episode is going to be titled Dimension 20 parentheses Dropout.
Yeah, that's probably safe. I think I watched, every breaking news. I binged through so much, I did not sleep for a period that was less than proper.
Probably fair.
And then, of course, I was, sending it to all of my friends, because they obviously needed it in their lives, too.
And there's some really old stuff on here, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything. Every College Humor thing is in there.
Well, maybe not every College Humor thing. I'm glad that they didn't go all the way back to the early College Humor stuff.
Fair.
The edgy College Humor stuff.
The dark days of College Humor.
The 90s.
Man, I remember the dark days of College Humor. It was a great place to be.
Oh my god. We want to be Newgrounds so bad, just without the games.
They really did. They really did. What a weird place to be.
What a weird place.
How did they get here?
How did they get here?
They had a change of management, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's his name took over, I think. God, what's his name? I'm looking right at you, buddy. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Come on the show.
It will just be... And that's the only thing in the description is going to be in parentheses. Thanks, Sam.
We'll just have Sam on and then not tell him at all how our podcast works and just randomly give him a score that he has no idea how he's getting points.
That's right.
Love that.
That's right.
The Game Changer episodes where the contestants take over. That's the episode I want.
I will say one of the best Brendan Lee Mulligan rants I've heard was from Game Changer. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
The yes or
no.
no.
They got it on a t-shirt, I want to say.
Oh,
yeah,
it's on yes a t-shirt. No, it's on a mug.
Yeah. I've seen the mug, too.
The yes or no one.
Yeah.
That's that episode.
I was thinking the one where he can't win.
Yeah, that's the yes or no episode.
Is that yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, because he can only do...
Because every question is yes or no.
Yeah. That's even part of his rant. One could imagine when you could choose only one or the other answer. Oh, man.
It's so good. His rants are fucking amazing. What the hell?
Get in the comments.
It's like, motherfucker, it's like you woke up angry and you thought out a rant and you just applied it to something today, didn't you?
Like, there's no way, right?
Those like, I just got to give the man props. Those are 100% improv. Like they're way too situational. Like, it's like that applies to this exact thing. I just feel like that's just how he talks all the time.
And I have to say this too. Again, Critical Role, love them. They have some pretty good improv skills. They are, voice actors, so all that's really cool, right? The improv that these guys have, god damn it. Especially with Fantasy High, just blows me away.
I will cry. I will absolutely cry.
Look,
like I pretty much cry every finale. Mm-hmm. And after the third time, I was like, this is just where we're at. Because there's something so unabashedly beautiful of the way that that they all tie everything up together. So it could end right there. That it's so good.
Yeah.
And it makes me weep.
Go on this ride with me. When Baron and I's friendship was young, when I had just met this man, there's something he used to do that I used to absolutely hate, where he would joke about something, but you could not tell. 100%. Like, the way he joked about something, just like, I would go weeks before I realized he was joking about it. And that's...
Can I tell you I hate that about myself now? Because it's gotten to the point now where I will joke about something, and I'll have someone walk away, and I'll be like,
I don't think they knew.
I was kidding, you know that, right? And they're like, you were? I'm like, I just said the most outlandish thing ever, and you just believe that?
Yes, it's a superpower you have. It's like you have your own fey trickster power where you can just make people believe whatever.
You accidentally have a plus 31 to your deception, and you just don't know what to do about that.
That's fair, and it applies at all times.
To be fair, I love that about you now. Like, now that, like, I'm in on the joke at this point, like, I love it. But
that's what I think. That's my problem. Is like when we first met, I was kind of fine tuning it.
Yeah.
So, like, when I did trick people, it was like, hey. Now it's like, oh god, I can't stop. You have got to stop believing me.
But I feel like that's what Brennan's improv is like. Like, he can make you believe that it was planned 100% of the time. Like, his players will do something that obviously he could not have planned for. But how he will respond will make you think he 100% planned for that situation.
Oh, you see that in the Tales of Exandria.
I'm sleeping. Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
When he has people that aren't used to him, and he's running for them.
It's so funny seeing Lou react to the people reacting to him. Watching Lou be 100% unimpressed with everyone, and he's just like, this is normal. This is fine.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah, like, even when he hits him with that emotional shit, I can see Lou just being like, looking over at him, just like...
It's the side eye, too.
Yes. Oh my god. Lou.
And Lou's so good. Lou and Emily in Of Court of Fey and Flowers are murdering me. They're absolutely going to put me in the fucking ground.
Every time they're like, grandfather, and they look up into the sky like they're praying.
Who's alive?
He's alive. No, he's quite alive. He's quite alive. It's like, stop!
Last episode, not like the one that came out yesterday, but last week's episode, at one point they do that and they say, "Our Sky P."
Oh no.
100%.
And she's married to, what's his name?
To Murph, yeah.
Married to Murph. Can you imagine that? Those two? Can you imagine inviting them to a party? Like, you're just like, you know what? I'm a normal person in a normal relationship, and I'm going to invite these two out. We're going to go have drinks. End of the night, you're going to be like, what the fuck just happened?
I love how different their play styles are too.
Yeah. Yes.
Because Emily is so chaotic and Murph is so fucking just
Murph, I believe that the difference is Emily wasn't a D&D player. Murph is.
that might be it.
At least the play style reads like that.
Murph is so obviously like the D&D player of the group. Like,
Yeah.
there are so obviously times when Brennan doesn't know the ruling on something, and Murph is just like, oh, it's this. Like, just encyclopedic knowledge right off the top of his head.
Which I think is funny, because I think Brennan is the one that got Murph into D&D, if I'm not mistaken. They had a little podcast. Again, I don't see those on Dropout, but I think their little podcast is on YouTube, and they talk... maybe it's Lou. Maybe he got Lou into D&D.
He did get Lou into D&D.
Okay, that's who I'm talking about then. Okay, that's who I was thinking of.
And Fantasy High actually is the first time that Allie plays D&D ever.
That's kind of obvious.
This is not me knocking Allie. I believe that.
Yeah.
She definitely has that chaotic gremlin energy that first-time D&D players have. If you've ever ran D&D for people who first playing D&D... Except for Rick. Rick came in like a fucking pro. Just, you know. I mean, you came in as a warlord. First-time D&D players don't do that. So, you know, you get those first-time D&D players coming in like a fucking goblin. That's the energy that Allie has. That's the energy that Emily has. But I had, you know, I don't have any evidence to the contrary if it was the first time, except for, you know, Allie now.
If it's your first time playing D&D... and you need a set of dice, why don't you check out Geeky Clean, who are proud to present their monthly Dice Bomb subscription box, the ultimate Dice Goblin enabling service. If you sign up now, the first Dice Bomb you will receive will be October's Nag Champa scented bath bomb with scream-faced dice inside. Then each month you will receive a carefully curated Dice Bomb complete with a set of premium resin dice for your TTRP collection. Get 10% off with our link or discount code Guild Decree. I could definitely tell from watching Unsleeping City that Emily and Allie were the people who hadn't played a ton, but I think...
didn't NADPOD exist before Dimension 20?
No idea.
NADPOD? The D&D D&D podcast that Emily and Murph run?
I don't know. I haven't listened to that. I'm going to have to look that up now.
Oh, yeah. NADPOD is a thing that they ran, I thought, before Dimension 20 started.
It's quite possible, but like the only point I was trying to make really was that in Unsleeping City, they make Emily and Allie be the two people who are the fish out of water characters. And story-wise, that's so smart. If they're the people who have the least amount of D&D knowledge, to make them also the two people who have the least amount of lore knowledge, it just works so well.
I'm going to throw this out there too. Thinking about it, thinking back to the Fantasy High, the only one that didn't have that goblin energy was the guy that was literally playing the goblin.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, all of them but Murph seemed like they didn't regular play D&D. But they all had great improv skills. So, that's all it was.
It works so well if you're making a D&D show. Like, you don't need a bunch of people who have encyclopedic D&D knowledge. And let me also clarify that just because someone doesn't have encyclopedic D&D knowledge doesn't mean they're new to the game. I mean, like, I'm making a lot of assumptions here. And just because someone does have the knowledge doesn't mean they're super experienced. Some people just have that type of brain.
Look, I've been playing for nigh 30 years, and I don't have encyclopedic knowledge of any game I've ever played, ever, especially 5th edition, and I've been told that I run a halfway decent game. Yeah. So
you run a great game.
That's all that matters. You don't need to know shit as long as you're making your players happy.
It's true. Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing at any given... Full disclosure.
Look, most of my games, we're just playing pretend and we're rolling dice to pretend like we're actually doing something.
Yep. It's an excuse to flirt with our friends.
Exactly.
And, you know, if you want to have the by the book, like encyclopedic knowledge type of game with your friends, because that's what you find is fun, no shade thrown whatsoever.
No,
like, go
absolutely
for
not.
it. I happen to find that kind of crunchy game very fun. I also happen to find the rules light, heavy RP games fun. But when it comes to making a D&D show, getting that super crunchy, rules heavy thing, it doesn't work. But if you get a bunch of people who are playing fast and loose with the rules, well, it doesn't work as a comedy. But
Well,
if you're playing fast and loose with the rules and just going straight improv the whole time, that works, which is one of the reasons I find Dimension 20 so much easier to consume. Because if it were super rules heavy, I wouldn't be able to have it on in the background while I'm doing something else. Like, I would have to be intently focused on the show. But with Dimension 20, I can be working and have it on in the background, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Oh, like I absolutely, again, I love Critical Role, but I feel like I have to skip. I feel like I have to skip through the combats,
Right.
which sucks because there's some stuff that I miss. But it's like I can't do the combat. Sorry. Bye.
I think the combat is handled really well in Dimension 20, especially because the combat is always the thing that loses me for actual play stuff. Like, if something's going to lose me, it's going to be the combat, because it's just very rote lots of the time. But especially with how different the battlefields are and the types of fights that they have to have. Like, Unsleeping City Season 1, the fight in the sewer with the Rat King, that was fucking mind-blowing to me the first time that I listened to that episode. It was just so cool. And then we do see a kind of water raising, water lowering type thing happen in a couple of other seasons, but because it's presented just differently enough, it always feels really fresh. And it does feel like stuff that matters. Where with a lot of other actual play, it kind of feels like filler. It's the Dragon Ball Z screaming.
So far, what I've seen, and I don't know if this is just Unsleeping City, but I assume it's not. But every combat I've seen hasn't been straight combat. There's never just, you're the good guys, they're the bad guys, this combat's going to go until they're dead. There's always some environmental element, some sense of urgency. There's something else going on other than the combat that pushes it forward, that makes the combat go so quickly, so smoothly. Like the one you were just saying with the Rat King, with that water rising, they had to get that combat done quick. Otherwise, they were gonna drown. So, when you put that sense of urgency on your players, it speeds up the combat and makes it a whole lot more interesting. You don't have somebody sitting there, even though if somebody was sitting there forever trying to think about what they do with the turn, the water doesn't rise any faster. Obviously, it's going by the turns, but you put your players in that mindset. If they buy into it, they're still trying to take their turn faster. They're trying to move through it because they're like, oh my god, the water's rising, which it's fantastic.
Well, and I feel like Brennan, and this is actually something that I actually went back when I started, when my friends decided I was going to be the forever DM of our little group, that I went back to look at, which was Brennan does a really good job at keeping them on task, and especially because they are all comedy improv people, they do have that tendency to, when they start getting stressed, you'll see the table talk kind of ramp up, and Brennan's very good about isolating the individual that's making the decision at the time. What are you doing?
Right.
And it does keep that pace, so there's less potential for them pulling each other out of the immersion. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I've been trying really hard to incorporate, and it seems to be actually going really well. I'm just watching lots of Dimension 20 and wholeheartedly stealing everything in the hopes that I can put on a good game.
On the other side of the coin, Ray, can you name a single combat that happens in the Court of Fame and Flowers?
Yes. Honestly, the best one I think that we've gotten is the Wovey Hob one. That's about it.
The duel?
The duel. That's about it.
The duel that didn't even really happen.
I mean, it still did.
Yeah, but I mean,
there were still hits.
Point being, it's this game is really if that's the biggest combat of the game, that's really telling in a good way. It's
yeah,
showing,
like it's
showing
very
that,
in genre.
yes, and it's really showing that you can play D&D and not fuck with these giant combats. They're doing this whole campaign, and the biggest combat they've really had is a duel between technically 3 people, 2 people.
Technically 3 people. Yeah.
And it's over really before it even starts. There's, like you said, there's a couple hits, and it's like, yeah,
And then it's done.
yeah.
Yep. Man, okay. That scene was really great. just that. It was the Brennan knowing out of character Omar was going to send his character after Hob, and hitting Lovey really hard, Omar like being shocked by how hard he hit, and then just turning, "You want this smoke?" I died. I thought I was going to implode.
I love my favorite part of that whole thing. Again, spoilers. Was when everybody was coming out with these deep, dark twists, and it's like these. Everything is just not as it seems, and he's just out of nowhere. The K and KP Hob stands for Nicholas. Everybody's like, "What?" The K and KP Hob stands for Nicholas. Okay. Well, everybody else was doing it.
I loved that. Okay, so that was really funny because the week prior to that episode coming out, my mom was like, "So what does KP stand for?" And I was like, "I don't think they've told us yet." And she was like, "You follow him on Twitter, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "You should tweet at him about this." And I was like, "I am not doing that."
You should have, though.
I love my mom, but not that much.
Well, you did you see what the P stands for?
It's not actually pterodactyl, he said.
No, it is. It's canon. It's a guild decree. I'm making it pterodactyl.
No, but like,
If you're gonna make a guild decree, do it right. Come on, man.
Hob's name is Nicholas Pterodactyl Hob.
That's my guild decree.
Okay.
KP Hobbs' name, full name, Nicholas Pterodactyl Hob the Third.
The third.
Guild decree.
Guild decree.
Okay.
Come on the show, Brennan. Use your guild decree.
Get in the comments.
Get in the comments.
They had a moment exactly like that in Unsleeping City, where they were all coming out with like things that they were keeping from each other, and then Zach just goes, "I wasn't always a firefighter."
Zach murders me.
Zach in Crown of Candy. Zach in Crown of Candy almost did kill me.
Yeah. The reason, okay, so I fell in love with Le Pen watching the first episode of Crown of Candy.
Uh-huh.
And that was the thing that made it where I was like, okay. And I went and I watched, because all of the first 4 episodes of Misfits and Magic is on YouTube. So I watched all of that. And then after that, I went back and rewatched the first episode of Crown of Candy and went, fine, I guess I'll pay for this thing.
It'll get you.
That's how they get you.
It'll 100% get you.
I watched it all so quickly. I was all caught up, like, so ridiculously fast.
I have to say, there are things in Dimension 20 that I have not watched all the way through yet, but there's not a single thing on here that I dislike.
Yeah.
Even, it was kind of like a gear shift for me getting into Starstruck, but it actually started really catching on. And then to find out that game is really just kind of like a little love letter to his mom, I was like, oh, wow. Wow. Son of a bitch, that's awesome. So yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah. I need to get that comic now, actually.
You should. It
reminds me a lot of, like, some of the old... Like, I don't know how old the comic is, but it reminds me a lot of, like, the, what's that? Valerian City of 1,000... Or there was a movie. There was a movie that came out.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but for some reason I can't think of the title either.
Valerian.
I think I know what you're talking about.
City of a Thousand Planets.
Oh, okay.
That is based off of a comic, and it reminds me a lot of that. Like, at least in style wise.
Yeah, I didn't really know about that, but until there's a YouTuber I watch called How to Drink.
Oh yeah.
And he brought Brendan Lee Mulligan on, and they made the cocktail from the comic book, and they kind of explain all of it.
Yeah, the fact that the virgin version of that cocktail looked tastier than the alcoholic version.
And then to come find out that they're actually friends in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just happen to know each other. Just
super weird.
And that's why we're not popular, Rick, because we're not friends with famous YouTubers.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Shame.
One of our friends needs to just go get famous on YouTube, and then we can ride them coattails.
Man, I'll tell you what. There's nothing I like more than riding coattails. Ugh. I'll ride them.
Just like on them coattails. I do want
to,
because I did last week re-listen to season 2 of Fantasy High. I did have a thing that I noticed, which was when they're going to Leviathan, which is the pirate city, they get pulled in, and Gorgug introduces himself as Skipper and says, "But you can call me Skip." And then he plays Skipper, but you should call him Skip in Starstruck Odyssey.
Yeah.
And
he really
I didn't even remember that.
He really put a lot into that voice, too.
Man, that was so good.
Yeah.
I started Starstruck and got like 3 episodes in, and then got distracted doing other stuff, and went and rewatched like 3 other seasons of Dimension 20, and then came back and proceeded to binge through all of Starstruck and cried really hard at the end. And it was so good. And so weird.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's the whimsy that I appreciate. There's a level of whimsy throughout Dimension 20, which sometimes sometimes those actual play D&D games, they fall kind of into that like Nolan Batman place where they want to be serious and gritty because it's D&D and lots of people think it's just a game. And Dimension 20 doesn't ever take itself
too seriously.
Really just doesn't ever take itself seriously, I don't feel like. It's because it really is about, are we having fun? Are we having a good time? And it's very obvious that it's about that, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
But
yeah, and I think that's what makes it such a good show. Like, if you're going to watch a D&D show, an actual play. That's why I haven't got into actual plays, because I do play my D&D games with a bit of seriousness. Sure, there's plenty of dick jokes thrown in, but, if I'm going to consume that content, like I said before, I don't want it to be the same way that I play my games. That's just going to make me wish I was playing my game. I'd rather see it done differently.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, and I feel like I have to bring it up. So, Critical Role spawned the term the Mercer effect. I will say that I myself suffer from the Lee Mulligan effect?
Lee Mulligan would be the way to do it.
Effect?
In that, like, you have, these people who, like, wish that they could run like Matt Mercer, or wish that their game was run like Critical Role and stuff like that. Man, I wish I could run a game like Brendan Lee Mulligan. Oh my god. That is the style of play that I aspire to. I want to be able to run those goofy games and and just let them do whatever they want and be able to control that and keep it fun. But then, at some point in the game, crush your heart in my hands.
That's what it is, isn't it? It's the ability to have a group that trusts you so well that they know that you will break them, but you will still bring them home safely.
Absolutely. I will bring you this. That's what I want. I want to be able to bring you into my game, and I want to hurt you so fucking bad, but then take care of you afterwards and make you feel better.
Are you forgetting that you not that long ago ran a game for us where we were a traveling rock band and I interrogated a man by suffocating him with my ball sack and you made us fall in love with a robot? Are you forgetting that?
I think you've reached your aspiration and didn't realize it.
I think I could break
I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry when you shoved my poor baby in an awful place with awful weird things.
Yeah, you have reached this without realizing that you have.
Man.
Congratulations.
I think I could break you more.
And you didn't even have Glushka's backstory.
I didn't. Glushka was going to be so destroyed.
Glushka is so tragic and does not know it, and I love that about them.
The only thing Brennan Lee Mulligan has that you don't is fancy set pieces, like the great big.
And that's just budget, babe.
Yeah.
Actually, you can go to Dropout merch and get the box of Doom for like $139. Just throw that out.
Yeah, budget. But I was just saying.
Budget.
I wonder if I can make my own box of Doom, though. I bet I could.
It'd be pretty easy, I think. Yeah.
Super easy.
I think the thing that makes the box of Doom is the camera inside of it, which is the thing that would.
GoPro.
Yeah, and that's not in the one that you buy on their merch site.
Just to let you guys know, too, just a little throwback. Pidgeotto did actually make a cameo in a recent game that I've been running.
Yeah?
Yeah. Ordered bread juice at the bakery.
Nice.
Love that. I actually, as a result of the fact that because I do go back and rewatch Misfits and Magic a lot, I went and I bought the books for Kids on Brooms and Kids on Bikes, and I'm running a Kids on Bikes game right now.
That's such a good game. I need to get that.
It's so fucking good.
It is.
Bro,
it's so good.
If we want to play it at any point, I will happily run one of the little, like, pre-existing made games. Yeah. I'm fucking with my friends so much, they don't even know what's going on. It's wonderful.
What are you doing the first weekend of November?
Crying? I don't know.
Well, as anyone who's been regularly listening to our podcast, the first weekend of November is our 24-hour charity stream. Yeah. So if you wanted to fill a part of that 24 hours with running a one-shot, I'm not going to stop you.
For sure. I would love to do that, yeah. Send me the dates and I'll make sure not to book drag over it. I don't think I'm booked for November at all, actually. So that should be fine. Drag slows down in the fall and winter time.
Oh, that reminds me too. There's another game I have to run, but I got to figure out how to do it remotely. Fuck, Alice is missing. I need to run Alice is Missing.
Alice is Missing?
As far as I know, it's definitely one of those ones that's going to mess with your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love how you brightened up over that. Yeah.
We like shit that's gonna fuck you up. Okay, back to Dimension 20 for just a moment, though. I like their little mini quests, the fact that they do, like, short seasons in between their big, long seasons. Mm-hmm. I think that's really nice. I also like the fact that they always make sure that it's got some people that are not in the usual cast in there. The Mice and Murder season, I love mysteries. I am such a mystery bitch. And I was so excited to figure out a couple of things before Grant did. I felt so superior. I bragged to my mom about that. I thought I was so cool.
So, with all of the Dimension 20 seasons and series that are available, what would you recommend I watch next after I finish with Unsleeping City?
What type of vibe do you want after you're done with Unsleeping City, do you think?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I definitely want it to be very different from Unsleeping City. Not because I didn't like it, but just because I want to see the real spectrum, you know? I loved Unsleeping City, but I'd want a complete left turn. Like, take me somewhere completely different.
Do you want something else that's DM'd by Brennan, or do you want to try something that's DM'd by somebody else?
That's a good question. Because I think we may be leaning towards the same direction.
Fuck me up, fam. I don't care. Like, do what you do.
I'm gonna suggest Misfits and Magic.
That's it. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
It's an absolutely different. It's a different game. It's a different vibe around the table. It's a different presentation. I think that.
I was going to say
go
it's also going to tickle your little fandom of Harry Potter without giving that hag any kind of satisfaction.
And it's like very and explicitly like there are actively genderqueer characters that we are introduced to as that. It's very diverse. The cast itself is actually pretty diverse. Like
yeah.
It's very nice. It's a lot of fun. It's tropey.
Yeah.
Which really is a joy for me, at least, for that system, the Kids on Bikes, Kids on Brooms system. Mm-hmm. It's built off of those tropes that you know and love. And, like, in this case, you've been in fandom. I'm absolutely certain that I don't have to ask this question, but I'm going to anyway. You are familiar with My Immortal, correct?
No.
You aren't? No. The worst fanfic ever?
No.
My friend. Oh, my friend. Brad, you have interweb access right now. Would you be willing / able to pull up My Immortal and just maybe read the first sentence because it's a whole paragraph?
Okay, so...
And now a dramatic reading.
It may be weird to find because they took it off of fanfic.net where it used to be posted. But it's like an infamously bad Mary Sue fanfic that is Harry Potter.
Oh, do I have to? Can I just read the "Hi, my name is"?
Yes.
Okay, the other one is just like, what is this?
It
All
is.
Right, you ready?
Yes. Gotta get into the mic.
Hi. Stop! I'm reading ahead. I'm reading ahead, and it's killing me.
He can't even do it.
What?
We used to read this aloud as a party game.
You ready? You ready?
Go for it.
Hi. My name is Ebony Darkness, Dementia Ravenway, and I have long ebony black hair. That's how I got my name. With purple streaks and red tips that reaches my mid-back, and icy blue eyes like limpid tears. And a lot of people tell me I look like Amy Lee. If you don't know who she is, get the hell out of here. Thank you.
Okay, so...
Hold on, no, wait, no, hold on.
Okay,
I have to read
an encore.
I'm not related to Gerard Way, but I wish I was because he's a major fucking hottie. Why would you wish you were related to him then?
I love to be related to people I find physically attractive.
I'm a vampire, but my teeth are straight and white. I have pale white skin. I'm also a witch, and I go to a magic school called Hogwarts in England, where I'm the 7th year. I'm 17.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're gonna have to tie this back for me. Why did we bring up this?
Okay, so there is because this is a joke that swept an entire generation and a half worth of fucking people that has heavily affected fandom in ways that no one knew it would. It was a troll. It's all a joke that some kid did to deal with the fact that she was a teenager and going through rough stuff. But one of the characters is based off of Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway.
Oh, okay, yeah, this is what I'm watching next then. This is fantastic. I love it.
Brad, are you okay, honey?
He kept reading.
I know he is. It's really bad. It gets worse as you progress.
It really does.
No, like halfway through, 3 chapters in, maybe.
If I weren't afraid,
reading for her stopped.
Good Charlotte's having a concert in Hogsmeade.
if I weren't afraid of the cease and desist, we would do a dramatic reading of this as an episode of the podcast. Just like the whole thing. We'd turn it into an audiobook.
You know what? If we want to do that for a Casters Guild event, I will pop in and I will read part of it. I'll fucking do it. We can do it for our people, even if nobody else comes and hangs out.
Maybe we can get a hold of Midnight Essence and
get permission.
Oh no! For Lulz, originally by Tara Gillespie. We have to get a hold of Tara Gillespie to be able to.
Yeah, she actually. So there was. It was the last 5 or 6 years that we actually found out who the author was. Because prior to that, there was a lot of argument in online spaces as to whether it was a troll or if it was serious, and yeah, whole thing. But third installment chapter, I guess, in the person that was beta reading for her, I guess she and her got into a fight, and so it stops being beta read. It's hard to read to start with. It becomes incomprehensible. I didn't realize how many ways you could misspell Dumbledore. there's one that is Dubledorf, and that is what I call Dumbledore to some of my friends, because he's Dubledorf.
Baron, see if you can email this fantastic author. See if that can happen somehow, and if you can secure us permission, this is a thing that will happen.
Depending, we may be able to research it because it's the fan work in and of itself. It may be considered fair use already.
Yeah, but I just don't want to be that guy.
Oh no, absolutely! I'm totally fine reaching out. I just wanted to clarify. But so fun, so good, so awful. Definitely listen to Misfits and Magic next.
Oh my god! Oh, if you get a chance, look up some of the fan art of this too. Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! And I can totally see how her character is based off of this now.
Yeah. Did you? Oh, were you not aware of this either?
Mm-mm.
Oh shit! Yeah, man.
Well, we all know what Baron's doing with his evening now.
Well, apparently there have been people have already done dramatic readings of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh, of course.
Dramatic reading.
Oh god, it hurts. I'm in pain.
Like I said, when I was in high school, this was a party game that me and my friends would play. We would try to read it out loud as much as possible without breaking. And it got harder as we progressed. It was like one person would break and the person would have to pick it up.
That's a good party game.
It's a good party game.
It's a fantastic party game.
I imagine it could be both worse and better if you incorporated drinking with it, or not doing that.
Where?
This is great.
What? You know what? Instead of doing like a Harry Potter episode, we should just do a My Immortal episode.
I gotta read it first.
It won't take you very long. There's not a lot of it.
Well, apparently, it's just a little shorter than The Old Man and the Sea. A very bold comparison that this the author of this article has wrote.
What a weird thing to say. Just to pull out of the ether.
Yeah, he said, and it clocked in at 22,678 words, making it just a little shorter than The Old Man and the Sea.
What the fuck? I am also just a little shorter than The Old Man in the Sea. What do you like?
Oh, man. Hi, Ebony, he said back. We walked into his flying black Mercedes-Benz. The license plate said 666, and flew to the place with the concert, which we established earlier was Hogsmeade. On the way, we listened excitedly to Good Charlotte and Marilyn Manson. We both smoked cigarettes and drugs.
Cigarettes,
smoking drugs.
Cigarettes and drugs. Holy shit.
But so, for like a generation and a half, this is what people immediately think of when they think about fanfic.
Sure.
Which is part of why a lot of people have a really bad, mean representation of fan work communities.
I mean, it makes sense. If that's your frame of reference. Whew.
But, oh man. Wait until you get to Dumbledore shouting at them in the middle of the forest. That's great.
What the hell are you doing, motherfuckers? That one?
Yeah.
Oh my god! What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, no, we might have to do a whole episode on this.
Okay, not gonna lie. I mean, that's pretty much how I write sex scenes, too.
Alright, Baron, before this becomes the My Immortal episode, do you want to go ahead and throw a bow on this one?
Sorry.
Yeah, all right.
Don't apologize, this is fantastic.
Okay, well, in the annals of great fan fiction, you know, we have a lot of Oh, I'm putting a bow on the Dimension 20 thing.
You got
it.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So, definitely, Dimension 20 is one of the big two. You know, when people think of Let's Plays, actual plays, stuff like that, for D&D, you know, Critical Role is always going to be the first. Dimension 20 is right there behind it. But there's a reason for that. It's a great experience. It's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of accessible and relatable and easily consumed media when it comes to D&D, and it's also just another look at how D&D can be. It doesn't always have to be rules lawyers. It doesn't have to be rules heavy. It can be silly. It can be fun. It can be rules light, and still have a lot of emotion that, you know, you think that you can only get in those big games. So give it a check. Go check it out. Come back, tell me your favorite one, and take some notes. It's a really good thing to hone your craft in, whether you're running a game or playing.
Ray, if anybody liked what you had to say and they want to find you anywhere else on the internet, is there any way they can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Facebook under Freddy Dreadful. You can also find us through the Lot and Drag Entertainment group. And then you can also find me at Twitter, where I've lately been posting occasional excerpts of my book and sad stuff, because I'm working on writing a book right now. So you can find me at Desolatung on Twitter.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Casters Guild. Email us at castersguild@gmail.com. Email me your audition for our dramatic reading of My Immortal. If you want to voice one of the characters, I will gladly listen to your audition, and when we finally do it, maybe we'll do a fully cast reading. A couple things.
But if you're Dumbledore, you have to do the what the hell are you doing, motherfuckers?
A couple things. First weekend of November, we are doing a 24-hour charity stream. Baron, tell them your Twitch channel.
That's Baron Kane. Twitch.tv/Baron Kane.
And I am twitch.tv/ToadSparks. That's TOADSPARX. Go and follow us now. That way you'll be notified when we go live for that 24-hour charity stream. Also, November 19th, if you happen to live near Middle Tennessee, there will be the Upper Cumberland Game Con, where I will be DMing 2 games, one of Dungeons & Dragons and one of Dread. So if you'd like to play in a game that I run, come check it out. Check us out on all the socials, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
It was nice to know you.
43 years old.